What's up, guys? I'm gonna remake a patch I just made in Silent. I think I did it a lot better and a lot closer to the original in Silent, so check out that video. What I'm doing is the Hardwell Spaceman drop. This was a request, and he requested that I remake the sound, but then so I did, and I did it in Silent. But then when I went back to my inbox on YouTube and I read his message more carefully, he wanted me to do it in Massive because he doesn't have Silent, I guess. So I redid it in Massive. It sounds different, but that kind of makes me happy because if I could get the same sounds in Silent and Massive, then I'd be disappointed in both. So the result with Silent is that it sounds much more analog, and that's because Silent is kind of based on analog type of emulation, so whereas Massive is a digital sound. So I will show you the one I made in Silent. And the one now I made in Massive. Okay, so if you've seen the Silent one, then it's exactly the same. All I did with Ableton was I clicked on this little orange box and I swapped it out with Massive. And that's how you switch plugins in Massive in Ableton, I mean. And it's very simple. I kept it simple. So it's just 3 square saws, and this top one is all the way on the saw position and it's down an octave. The second oscillator is also a square saw, but it's on the square, so it's all the way this side, and it's not, and it's right there at 0. And the third oscillator is a square saw, but down the middle, down an octave. Its intensity is all the way up, amp is all the way up. They're all being routed to filter 1, and the intensity on the other ones are kind of around a little bit, like 1/4 of the way, sorta, or 1/4 of the way up. So take notice of that. Now this is my second one that I remade, and I'll run you through this one real quick. So it's just a low pass, cutoff is sort of in the middle, reso is kind of right here. This should be routed up all the way, mix 1 and 2, I mean all the way up at mix 1. A little bit of feedback, no noise, a little bit of a hard clipper. So notice this, bit crush, kind of similar with the dry wet, and crush is kind of pointing up there. Voicing is 3 voices on a monorate legato. My glide is kind of pointing this way, and what I did here with the restart via gate is kind of like where you want your waves to start. So I have my first oscillator in between 90 and 180, and these other 2 at 90, and I'm not using this one, so without it sounds like, and with it, so it's giving me a more consistent sound. And a little bit of C-tube right here, classic tube. Drive what's right around here. Drive is all the way up. Don't really need the reverb, but you can copy that if you want. I just added a little bit. It's not very necessary. With the envelope 4, the attack is up all the way. Level is up all the way on this one. Release is right there. And that's pretty much it. But I did make a second one, so I will open that one. Or this is actually my second one. So let me go to my browser. Let me go into my patches here. So this is the one I made before. I guess I should have shown you this one first, because the other one was actually my variation. This is the original one, so if people clicked away from this video before they could see this, then that is their loss. Anyway, so this one's exactly the same. Everything's the same except the pitch. So this one's at 0 right here on oscillator 1. This one's down 2 octaves, and this is at 1 octave. And that's the same. Everything's the same. I didn't change anything else. So, and maybe if you don't like the way this is, then you can just turn it off. But you can hear how inconsistent the sound is. As it plays, it's going to keep sort of changing in little ways, and it's not very consistent. So by me putting where I want each oscillator to restart, I make it more consistent. And of course, when you play that with the sub, which I will show you how to do in this one, or no, I'm actually just going to give you the sub patch, but it's pretty much just playing the same notes, but it's just 2 sine squares. One's down 2 octaves, one is down an octave. They're kind of in the same place. A little bit of feedback, no filtering, no nothing. Voicing is just one on polyphon, and that's really it. There's nothing really going on there. It's just the 2 oscillators and a T-tube. And that's it. No EQ, no nothing. I know these are all on, but I can guarantee they're doing nothing. So, comparison of Silent and comparison of Massive. And let me just state that I'm using the same synthesis sort of waves. So I'm using like square and saw waves in Massive. Same with Silent. I'm using legato in both of them. I'm gliding the notes a bit. I mean, they're very similar in synthesis. So anything that you watch in any video, whether it's Massive, Silent, FM8, you can apply those to other synthesizers, but it will get you different sounds, even though it's the same waves and played the same way and played the same octaves down and up. It's just obviously because synthesizers are it's going to have their own original sound, and I suggest you guys play around with that with other synthesizers, like copy patches from Massive into like Silent or like Cyclops, and see how different that synthesizer sounds. So when you're making basic sounds, like basic bass lines, you pretty much know which is the best for that. And that's kind of a cool way to learn your synthesizers. So anyway, hope you guys like this. This is just me recreating a patch I remade in Massive per request. So thanks for watching.